Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my worst flips ever on Poshmark. These are all items that I thrifted with the intention to resell for a profit, and then I either ended up losing money on them or making a very small profit and kind of leaving me feeling like I should have just left the item behind. So I'm hoping this information is helpful to you. Hopefully it'll help to mitigate some of those bad buys, especially if you're a little newer to reselling. I think it is helpful to hear kind of some mistakes that other people have made, and hopefully it'll help you make smarter decisions and not lose money on items you thrift. Alright, so first up is this BDG mini jean skirt. So I had bought this at Savers for $6.43 and I originally listed it at $25. It eventually, after almost a full year, sold for $15. The other thing with that one was I had offered a shipping discount on it, so my profit was just a little over $3. Not terrible. Especially if I'm bringing something to like Plato's Closet or something, that's kind of the profit it ends up being. So that's really not a bad profit just in general, but if I'm doing all the work of photographing, measuring, listing, shipping, selecting that item originally, it definitely doesn't feel like $3 is enough. It really doesn't leave you with much profit. So that's the kind of thing I keep in mind now when I'm outsourcing is this an item that, I probably could find at the bins / will it leave me with a very good profit? Alright, next up is this Tommy Hilfiger gray hooded sweatshirt. This is a painful one. So I had bought this for $8.49. It took 200 days to sell and ended up only selling for $15, which is actually a super reasonable price for a Tommy Hilfiger sweatshirt. So I'm not mad about the price. I just didn't really know at that time what that would sell for and what I was paying for it. I don't think I fully understood, I guess. It didn't really fully consider the cost of good versus what it would sell for. I wouldn't pick that up again at a regular thrift store, maybe at the bins. Not worth $9 to resell to make a profit. The math ain't mathin'. So this one I had bought at a consignment store to resell. I was probably about a month or two into thrifting to resell, and I was at the consignment store and I bought 3 items that day, and 2 of them ended up on this list because they were not good buys. So this is one of those items. I had bought it for $25.99 and I listed it at $55. I was thinking I could make $50 for this item. Even then, I think I should have priced it a little higher if I was trying to get $50, but in any case, it ended up taking like 5 or 6 months to sell, and it sold in a bundle for $33.41. So after spending $25.99 on it, selling it for $33.41, that left me with a total profit of 10 cents. So that was the last one on here that I made a profit on. If a Free People item were new with tags and it was a style that was really popular or a newer style, there's a chance I would pay up a little bit for it, but for it to have been kind of a saturated item on Poshmark and a used item, wasn't new with tags or anything, I definitely should not have spent that much for it. So that wasn't a good buy. Free People is a brand that I sometimes will pick up at the thrift store for, $5, $6, $7. It's not necessarily just a brand that I will reserve for the bins, but it definitely depends on the style, and I would now check comps to make sure it's not heavily saturated on Poshmark and check what it's sold for recently. Alright, next up is this pair of Lululemon men's athletic shorts, and I never actually ended up checking the exact style because while I was photographing these shorts, I realized they had major damage on the inside part of the shorts. They were just completely tattered and just not in good condition at all. Luckily for me, I had bought these at the bins, so I only spent about $2 for them, and it's just one of those few items that I haven't really dealt with just because I know it's so damaged. I'm sure I could still make a profit on it once I do list it. It's just been something I haven't even wanted to deal with because of all the damage. And I don't know if anyone would actually want to buy those, so that's part of why I haven't listed them. I just don't know that they'll sell, but I probably should just to get a little money back. And yeah, but that was just a bad buy because I did not inspect it thoroughly enough. A quick front and back sometimes isn't enough. There could be something on the inside, so do your due diligence. Alright, next is this pair of Lucky Brand Sienna Slim boyfriend jeans. Another painful one. I had spent $12.73 on these, and I listed them at $35, and then I ended up selling them for $12. And that was after 160 days of being listed. So aside from the fact that I clearly took a very low offer, spending $12, almost $13 on a pair of Lucky Brand jeans is not something I would do anymore. Even if I had gotten closer to like $20 or $25, spending $13 on it Still was not smart. All right, next up is that second bad buy from the consignment store that day. It was this Fila bubblegum pink windbreaker. I had bought this because of the color. Bubblegum pink was very on trend. I think it still is. So I was thinking that like adding in that keyword bubblegum pink would hopefully help it to sell. And I think I thought Fila was a brand that was going to sell better and sell for more. So I had bought this for $21.50 and I listed it at $40, which I would not pay that much to list an item for $40 at this point in time. That's just painful. It's so painful. I sold that for $20 and I ended up losing $5.50 because I sold it for less than I bought it for. So how was I not going to lose money? It took 222 days to sell also, so it wasn't even like it was a quicker flip. At least it sold and I was able to get a little bit of that money back to kind of cover a little bit of the cost of good that I originally spent. So I'm always happy when my bad buys sell because then I at least make a little bit of money back. So there is that. All right, next was this pair of Adidas tubular shoes and I had spent $29.99 on them and listed them for $50. Now, I think I might have listed them at a higher price and then ended up relisting them at a lower price. So we'll give me that. At least I didn't buy them for $30 and list them originally at $50. I think I actually priced them up a little bit. But they took 204 days to sell and they ended up selling for $32. So I lost $6.85 on those. Adidas, I really don't pick up that often unless I would find them at the bins and they were more of a lifestyle pair rather than like a workout pair or running pair. I would never spend $30 on a pair of Adidas again to resell. I think that was just a really bad purchase. Yeah, not a good buy. And let's see, those took 204 days to sell. Next was this Harry Potter baseball tee. I had bought this at Savers and I specifically remember getting this on one of my very first thrifting trips again. So I spent $13.99 on that baseball tee. I listed it at $30, sold it for $10, lost $9.56, and it took 194 days to sell. So really bad buy. Again, wouldn't buy that at the thrift store probably ever. It's not something that I really choose to resell and it's definitely not something that I would spend $14 on. So if that were a bins item and it was something kind of unique about it, then I would definitely consider grabbing it after checking comps to check what the item has sold for previously and to see how many are currently available. Because if there are 40 of the same item that you are about to pick up already available in that same size, then it'll be a lot less likely that that item will sell. So it'll either end up sitting for a long time and you'll end up just having to accept a really low offer because it's so saturated, or it won't sell and you'll either way kind of regret buying it. Hold on, gotta change the battery. Good enough. Next is this Joie long sleeve striped silk dress. It was new with tags and I had bought this at TJ Maxx to basically retail arbitrage and, you know, resell for a higher profit. That's really one of the only times I've ever done that. I have mentioned this before, but I am not a fan of retail arbitrage. I definitely prefer selling secondhand clothing. Everybody has their preferences, but in this case, I had tried retail arbitraging and I had bought this dress for $44. I listed it at $65. Now I'm sure that was a relisted price and I had priced it originally maybe closer to $100 and then brought the price down, but it ended up selling for $52 and I lost $14.22 on this item. It took almost 300 days to sell, so pretty much all across the board in every way, it was not a good buy. That's a brand that I had heard did well and it was new with tags. It had originally sold for like $495, so I thought, you know, I'm for sure gonna make good money on this, but as they say, just because something retails for a lot doesn't mean it'll resell for a lot. So I guess that was the case. I mean, $50 is still good. $52. If I had bought that, of course, at the bins or even for, you know, $10 at the thrift store, that would have been a good flip. But the fact that I spent $44 on it when it only sold for $52 and the platform fee alone was $10.40, that just was not a good buy. All right, and then lastly, this was not one from the beginning of my reselling career. This was like 3 or 4 months ago, so pretty recent. It was this Dior shoulder bag that I bought for $18.26 and it ended up being fake. I shared recently in a thrift haul look back that about that bag and how it was fake, and a couple people had commented saying that you could try to resell it on Poshmark and just put in the title that it's a replica. I tried to do that just to see if I could get a little bit of money back on it. making sure it was known that it was fake, but Poshmark immediately flagged it and wouldn't let me post it. So I'm sure a lot of you guys already knew that, but you cannot sell replicas on Poshmark. Even if you disclose that it's a replica, they just, I'm guessing, don't want that on their platform at all. So I am gonna redonate that, but yeah, I did lose almost $20 just because I thought it was real. If it was real, obviously I would have made a lot of money and I would have been happy to spend, you know, $18, but if I'm just losing $18, it's like I'd rather buy lunch or something. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below what your worst buy has been, or if you've got a lot of bad buys, let me know down below. Hopefully you guys don't have a ton because they don't feel good. It sucks to lose money, but let me know yours down below. I hope you guys have a really good rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.